Yeah, I said this,
Yeah.
Call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please turn everybody's cell phones to silent. And then we are going to adjust the agenda a bit, because we're gonna do the oath when Ms. Brown arrives. So I would consider any additions, deletions, or an acceptance of the agenda.
there are no, Madam Chair.
No additions or deletions, so can I have somebody make a motion on the agenda?
I'll make a motion on the agenda.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Visitor comments. Looks like we have a crowd tonight. Okay, consider the consent agenda. We have the meetings of the previous monthly board meeting, the monthly cash flow, including investments, the monthly bills paid from the activities accounts, the personnel summary sheet, and the donations, which I'd like to thank individually. One from the Pillager Booster Club for the National Honor Society, one for the Pillager Lions Club, for the Fishing Club, another from the Pillager Booster Club that was divided between the Pillager Middle School Mentors, One Act Play, Baseball, Boys Basketball, Girls Basketball, Elementary Innovation Team, Football, Kindergarten, Pillager Middle School Mentors, and Middle School PBIS, Senior Class 2024, looks like twice, softball and 6th grade boys travel basketball. And then also Midwest Minnesota Service Co-op for the Employee Wellness Grant. Thank you to all of those that donated. Can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Special board reports with possible action. Tonight, looks like we're starting with the activity committee.
Oh, we did meet right off the bat here. We met on Monday, March 25th. After the meeting was called to order, we discussed the weight room expansion project idea. Kind of went through what the lease levy options would be for funding, what the tax rate would be on a $1.9 million weight room. We also are looking at, Wold is going to further investigate other areas if there's a more existing spot where we can put the weight room at. Then Mr. Mullen went over the winter sports update. He said that the coaching evaluations are done. Then we went through the participation numbers, which were very successful. We got the survey results from the athletes for the various groups for girls basketball, boys basketball, all the winter activities for the students. Then we discussed changes for next winter positions. Looks like we'll be having a new head boys basketball coach. And then we posted wrestling, and I haven't got an update on where we're at on the wrestling one. I'm sure the interviews have already happened, right?
And it was posted, but
Friday.
they are good at Friday. I think they just finally have the applicant.
Okay. And then from there, we went on to the spring activities update. We discussed all the various programs. We discussed the coaching openings, which for the first time, we can now say there is no openings whatsoever. And then just kind of abbreviated what the spring activities is going to look like for this year. Then Mr. Bowen discussed the activities updates on the musical, the Pro Start, the One Act, and the robotics. Kind of what the needs and wants are for each program on that. So far, everything's running smoothly, so knock on wood, everything's going good.
Fill in on that one, the robotics one going from to 7 to 12.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe just want to touch on that.
Yep. So the robotics went from 7th to 12th instead of the 9th to 12th, right?
Yeah, they're going to have junior high kids be involved if they want to.
Then Mr. Clark took over the meeting and did the community education update, what classes were offered for this year. He then briefed us on the advisory meeting. They went through their winter recap, their youth sports, well, wrestling grades 3 through 6 had 23 participants. Grades K through 2 had 37 participants. And kind of went to challenges, what the wrestling is going to do, which we all know is the limited space. Girls basketball numbers were in the elementary were very good this winter. Challenges again, gym space, which we all know. Successes, girls basketball has grown in numbers. So we're starting to see the girls basketball numbers rebound in the lower grades. Community ed offerings, they're going to do open gym basketball, beginner chess club, art club. Behind the wheel, which we always offer, driver's education classroom course. Adult conditioning has been very well received from what I've been hearing.
I would concur.
Okay. And then the speed and strength camp for grades 5th through 8, they had 48 participants. Then we kind of did the spring preview on youth sports, where registration runs through March 31st. Track and field, same as baseball, softball. They're hoping to get a pickball class late this spring or early this summer. So that'll be kind of interesting because I could enjoy doing a pickleball class.
I don't think didn't I hear the nets on there and stuff, but none of it will be completely done until like June,
Something
May.
like that, yeah.
May.
Yeah, it's all been ordered, painting on May 13th, so sometime by end of May.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Then we went through youth sports updates. Then we went through the strength coach update, the waiver needs that needs to be happening, which blanks my mind on that one. What was that one, Mr. Malberg?
I didn't remember.
I didn't leave a note on that one.
I don't have a note either.
That's okay. You remember anything?
You have to sign a waiver.
Sign a waiver.
Sign a waiver, yeah, I don't remember what the.
It's important to do so.
Yes. Then we talked about the middle school camp, the summer camp, and the participation with from teams. The challenges, which we all know with this weight room, is it's a small space and it's limited. So it's hard to have different sports in there at the same time. So then we had a discussion on youth association for the winter leagues and spring leagues for baseball. Then we discussed the Hall of Fame. Then the community education plan for 24-25, assigning director's position and youth sports supervisor. So we're gonna have Mr. Clark step away from that, oversee it, but he is not gonna be the one that's gonna be in charge of the spring and summer programs. We will have that opening. Did that person,
Yeah,
Accept.
that was approved today.
okay,
That
so,
was
Yeah.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith,
We
yeah.
just approved that.
Okay, got it right here, just didn't read it, so. Then we're posting the Schedule C seasonal youth sports coordinators. So you'll be seeing those, we'll be filling those 3 positions for, spring, summer, fall, and, winter. Then we robotics discussion, then we expansion into the lower grades, that's the 7th through 12th. And then we adjourn from there. Any questions for activities?
Is that community and youth sports coordinator the umbrella person?
No.
And then, or no?
You have a youth sports supervisor, that's the umbrella, that's the person that's the umbrella. You have a supervisor, and then you have a seasonal coordinator for each season underneath
Yeah.
them.
So
Those are
that
the 3 we added,
position that was just hired, that was,
Mr. Smith.
I know, but which one is he? He's one of the,
He's a supervisor.
He's super, you won't be one of the 3. Yep.
He's a supervisor, so
Oh.
he will hire the 3 coordinators, the fall,
okay,
winter,
that's what I was
spring. So Mr. Smith
is the umbrella.
is the umbrella guy that oversees all the
So
hiring.
everyone's
of people.
called.
Yeah. The coordinators will really be the person who's on site during the events, making sure things go on. Mr. Smith does all the hiring and does that kind of scheduling type of stuff.
Okay,
Okay, that was it for the committee report, and then I would like to make the motion that we approve the 2026 Spanish trip as stated. Did you guys get that in the packet or not?
I didn't see
I
anything.
don't
No.
know if that was in the, I don't think we attached it to everybody else. I
so we
think
can
I
do a
just gave it
motion
to
and
you
talk
two.
about it maybe?
So
We're
Brian
going to
made the
the
motion.
I made the motion.
I'll second it.
So
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I guess that
Then discuss it.
Spanish trip will be for,
For the year of 2026, it'll be in the Dominican Republic. Okay, pretty similar to what they're doing this year,
They're going to Puerto Rico this year, but
Where?
next time they're going to
Dominican Republic.
Dominican.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
and
Which
how long is the
trip?
trip? It used to be so long, like years back. How long is that?
a week.
One
I'm not
week
thinking
instead
it.
of 2 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, we go, really? They
I
really
think
shortened
it's
it.
a week.
We're only going a week
What
this
was
year.
it?
I thought it was 10 days this year even.
And then
Could be.
Yeah, it used to be 14 or 16
Yeah, it
days.
was long.
And now I thought it was 10 days this year, so 7? I mean, 7 is,
A normal trip,
yeah,
I
fine.
think. I don't think it's longer.
Hold on, I got it right here.
It's all right.
I got it right here in front of
Yeah, I
me,
forgot.
hopefully.
My copy.
You're fine, it's all good. 8-day trip.
8,
Yep.
okay.
So it would be traveling in June of 2026 on an 8-day trip to the Dominican Republic. The program price would be $3,500 roughly, a little less than that, but I'm just rounding up. $190 for the insurance, you get the full-time tour director, comprehensive sightseeing, entrance to 10 different tours, personalized learning guide, round trip flights, all transportation while in the Dominican Republic, hotel accommodations, 3 meals daily.
Oh, this includes meals.
Yeah.
By traveler signing up
Free.
in the spring, they would have 26 months to pay for the program, yada, yada, yada. The Pillager Spanish Club would continue to do, yearly fundraisers to help offset the cost of it.
It's on the break.
So it's pretty much 8 days.
What does it say? Did they pick a company already or they haven't decided?
EF tours.
EF tours,
Oh,
is that educational or
Yeah.
EF tours? Okay,
Yeah.
so
hello, Miss Brown.
Okay.
Pick a table, any table.
I'm sorry.
no, if you're late, you got to sing a school song.
I do know it, I even know the tune.
That scares me.
I know the whole thing.
We're gonna finish this and then we're gonna make a motion to see that.
I might need a bit of a refresher, but I know the song for sure.
So, and that is, just so you're aware, just so you can't do anything yet.
She don't know yet anyway.
Yeah, she's not sworn in yet.
No.
Is there any other questions?
Not for me.
No.
Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Then all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes. We just approved the 2026 Spanish trip.
Oh,
Would you like to break in now so she can
Sure.
participate in the rest of the meeting?
Yes, we're going to go back to the swearing of the honors of oath for Bridget Brown. So if you want to stand up and raise your right hand, and you can repeat after me. I, Bridget Brown,
I, Bridget Brown,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
and I will discharge faithfully
I will discharge faithfully
the duties of the office of school board member
the duties of the office of school board member
of Independent School District Number 116
of Independent School District 116
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations, you're sworn.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
There's a document for you, Bridget, to sign after.
Okay.
Put it with the outside.
All right. Now, budget.
We did not meet, but we have a business manager's update.
Okay, so everybody has, Bridget has an agenda before you. So food service, so we received a letter from NDE in February in regards to some excess funds that we have in our food service account. So they allow us to keep 6 months worth of expenditures in our food service, which is a restricted account balance. So they allow us to keep only 6 months of our funds in that fund. So we have some funds that are above and beyond that 6 months. So they request a plan for us to spend it down. So we've actually kind of been in this position for the last several years.
I was
but
gonna say,
it's a little worse now because of all the COVID funding that we got. And it's, like I said, it's restricted to the fund balance. So it's not, I can't transfer it anywhere else where it could also be utilized. There's a list there of the plan that was to be submitted to MDE. We worked with Todd from Avian's. So we're doing some more high quality food. You've seen the Husky bacon cheeseburgers coming out. They purchase like higher dollar items to put on the salad bars. Let's see, they purchased a skillet braising pan. They're gonna do a smokeless grill. They needed an electric food slicer. With our growing numbers of kiddos, they need a larger milk cooler, so they're gonna purchase one of those. We had to replace this water softener. They purchased more trays. And then we're looking at adding a walk-in freezer, and Mike is gonna go into a little more detail on that in his report. FY25 budget has begun, so that is being worked on as we speak, and that will be approved again at the June board meeting. And then this last Wednesday in the Brainerd newspaper, we advertised for the bus quotes. So that'll run last week and it'll run again in this week's paper, and then all bus quotes are due by 1 p.m. on April 26th. So that's the update we have. Any questions on that?
does this spend all of the money then that we needed to by purchasing these
It won't
things?
spend all of it, but it'll get us going quite a bit, and especially with this walk-in freezer, that bid came in after that plan had been submitted, so that will also put a good dent in it.
Do we have more that we have to come up with?
There might be a little bit more, but you just have to
It's
come
a lot
up
of
with a generic plan.
That is a lot of stuff.
So I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I know how much like just a little thing, one thing costs.
I'm just wondering where the freezer is gonna go.
I was just gonna ask,
That's
where's the
great.
freezer gonna go?
That's what I'll get
Yeah.
to in my next.
Touch on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll put a really good dent in it, and then this next year, we'll just keep working on, we're gonna continue the high quality food, that'll
Yeah.
continue. And we'll see, I'm assuming they'll still continue doing free breakfast and free lunch, but we also have, the state is holding our breakfast funds right now because they're waiting on legislation. So they're waiting for legislation to put in more money to put it back into the school's breakfast funds. So we're gonna wait and see what comes up this next year, and then we can revise that plan as we go along. So,
All right, thanks for the update.
Any other questions? Missy?
The dollars have to be put towards items or food, they can't be put as like a blanket on anybody that owes money, or do we have students that owe money? It can't be anything like that,
At one point, we did try and do a special whatever that was right around COVID
Hmm.
to lower our prices down so that it used up some, but we needed like special permission or
Yeah,
something
you
to
have
do
to
it.
charge, before they gave it all free, you had to charge a certain amount.
Yeah.
It was a
that's right.
federal rule, or there was a whole formula.
You know,
We
there's
all
lots of
agree.
rules that make no sense,
Yeah.
but I get it,
Yeah.
okay.
There was a set dollar amount that you had to charge, and it had to be based off of this formula.
But as of now, we have nobody that has a negative balance.
Well, we might,
Oh,
because they might go seconds and buy a second cheeseburger. The second
I have a
cheeseburger,
negative
I
balance
do-
right now
I-
because my kids love the cheeseburgers and other
I-
things, so
to be
I need
honest,
to
I
pay
haven't
that,
got an
but
email, so.
I wasn't asking on behalf of me though, I just want everybody to know that.
yeah, so there might be some because you do have to pay for the second,
Yes,
and usually I think they try to keep an eye on that, so it doesn't get,
yeah, usually
Too far.
once mine gets to about $20, I get an email.
Mhm.
And then
So
I
at some
yeah.
point, they may decline the second if they were too far down, but they're giving them some leeway there, a little bit, Kid wants a second cheeseburger, and he might not know he's -$4, well, that's. no big deal.
Jack doesn't look at that. All right, thank you very much. All right, facilities.
We did not meet, but I did include, for some of you that have never been on the facilities committee or are new, I gave you in the packet, kind of a yearly summer maintenance schedule. Those are the things that we kind of do every summer. So sometimes people don't know what goes on in the summer. So I just, enclosed that sheet. There's 62 heating and cooling units that all get serviced and cleaned and grease bearings. And so I'm not gonna read through all those, but I just wanted to give you an update as to all the things that go on in the summer, that you kind of do a lot of summer maintenance of different things.
To be honest, I've been on the board this long and I've never seen a list like this, so I like it too.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you an idea of what do our maintenance people do in the summers, because there's a lot of things that they go into rooms and do that they can't do during the school year, And last time, I know those of you that were on, I think Brian was on it. I took pictures of the filters and show them how they got cleaned and how dirty they get in a year. I mean, it's almost, it's quite worth it. The second thing a couple of things, freezer location. So since we came up with, we needed to spend some money, Todd has really said from Avians that as we've gotten bigger and we have more kids, we really could use more freezer space because he's running out of places to put stuff. And it's hard on him ordering because he can't order and keep for a while. He's got to kind of really keep it, We have no room in the school to put a freezer in the kitchens. They're already full. So one of the things we did with the family center and the food shelf was we poured a slab outside of the food bank outside, and we put a freezer outside right next to it. So I looked at Todd and I, and both Todds and I went around and kind of looked at where could we put a freezer. The freezer's just the freezer itself is about $80,000. We could put it next to we have that poured slab, that's where the garbage dumps are, next to the old bus garage, right off to the side of it. So the plan would be to set that freezer, because it's already got a poured slab, and it could sit there and kind of goes alongside of the building, and we would hook up the power to that, and it would be locked, and that's not so far from the kitchen for them to go and move things around. So that's the plan, is to put it outside next to the bus garage on the side, because we have no room inside.
What's the square footage of the freezer? How big are we talking?
Get that?
I don't know if it was on there.
Uh,
Let me.
How hard is it to break into?
They're pretty high, they're
And
big.
it obviously can be outside
Well,
in the winter.
Yeah, they could be outside.
My suggestion and recommendation, if I was on the facilities committee, is I'd have the door go into the garage. Built it into the garage.
Build it in the garage, you mean?
No,
So
built
you have to access the garage and then access the freezer.
The freezer.
Oh,
can't
put it-
access the
you'd have to
freezer
put a
from
door
outside.
inside of it?
Yeah.
In the,
Correct. That would be my recommendation. I'd look at that.
we could,
Because then they
Because
have to break
you're not
in
gonna have,
twice.
you can be locked,
But do
it
you
can be
think they're
locked,
really gonna break
you can
it?
still snip a lock.
well,
Kids will do it.
we've never had any problem with it at the
Vandalism.
family center. I mean, it's been outside there for 3 years, and it's, they put a pretty good lock on it. We've never had any problems there, and it's.
I just, I get your point, because I'm immediately picturing some
The problem
kid
with it
locking
is,
themselves in it.
Because if, let's say a kid gets in, okay, there's that damage, but let's say a kid gets in, damage it, whatever, if they break into it, they leave the freezer door open, all our food's toast.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, the only problem with it is the way they make freezers is only the door on the end, I believe, so then you'd have to set it. I don't have to check on it, but,
That's almost.
I mean, that's what we do, the Pepsi, we have a freezer there and the doors are.
so you put the door back to side, so you go through 2 doors to get in.
Correct.
Okay, I can look into it. It would
They
obviously.
can still sit outside, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I'll look into that. We'd obviously, I don't know if we could cover the cost of, the food service account will pay for the freezer,
But not.
but I don't think we would do the door of the, so it would cost some money to do that out of our capital.
Something I would look into just because it doesn't have the appearance of, hey, I can break into that.
Yeah.
It's one more level of security. So
And,
it's not saying it's an issue, but
well, and I would say there's the difference with this one versus the one at the family center or at the food shelf is this will be driven by a lot more often than that one.
traffic area right
Cause.
I don't think I've ever seen the freezer in front of them, to be honest.
No,
with you.
I was just at the,
Oh, the food, it's behind, it's on the backside, so you wouldn't see it from the highway.
No, I would see this one.
Oh, yeah, you would
So-
see this one, but
Yeah.
you're really, the other spot, we could try to find someplace up. I don't know, because that might cause some issues with fire codes and stuff, entrances. So that would make the most sense, closest to the kitchen, without, there's another spot over here, but then I think we'd have some issues with fire codes by the doors and stuff.
You're saying by the old.
Yeah, by the old.
Yep.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
Or
Cafeteria.
Yeah.
yeah, Jupiter.
I'll have, Todd and I will look over
Trying to
here
stay
too,
right
just to
back.
see if there's a better spot, because that would be hidden a better, a little bit over here on the backside.
I'd have it tied to the building if you can, though. If it's back here, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but that one there, I'd definitely tie it to the building.
I'll
But
see
it
if
seems
there's,
kind of like miserable to walk out, go all the way over there, pull my cart through the snow of stuff.
Hopefully
I
there's
don't know.
the snow's removed by the
Yeah.
time the cooks get here.
Yeah.
We can
so,
always put it in, so you can
but
see
you
A
know,
lot of, yeah,
Yeah.
I bet it can't
we
like
don't have
hook
any
to the
spot,
school somewhere.
the school is, the kitchens are, there's no room.
That sounds like a fun thing for facilities to discuss in
Yeah,
our community.
I'll do some more checking on it, but the only spot that we really could do is outside somewhere, so.
How about
Oh,
where
I get
the potential gym area or weight room area would be, is there anything up,
But
pushed
then
in
you're so
towards the
far away from
building?
the kitchens,
That's a long haul.
your kitchens, you're,
Oh,
most of the, you're kind of close to the
going down a
kitchen.
hallway just sounds nice,
I'm
going
thinking-
across the parking lot.
Who's on facilities I can have this?
I'm on facilities with
Yo.
Sandra.
Yeah, I'll
Well-
get some more info, but
Perfect.
that was the thought originally, is to kind of put it, it's gonna have to go outside, so I'll do some more investigating and some other ideas.
Okay, and then you'll bring that back to the facilities
Yes.
and they will
Yeah,
present
and I
us
brought it,
with
I didn't
a plan.
have time for the facilities, because it kind of came up kind of quick, and it was like, we gotta put the plan in to buy one, and that's really the only spot. Yeah, so. The other thing I have for you is, in the last month for the facility committees, the flooring in the early childhood center has, the 4 classrooms, they have a little carpeted area, and then from the doors, from the entrance, from the outside, there's kind of a rubber coating floor. It's not, I don't know what kind of surface it is, to be honest with you, but it's kind of like a hard surface rubberish type surface. They're all 4 of those areas are really getting bad. Plus some of the carpet in the entranceway isn't the best anymore. It's already, getting kind of up there.
Or what it's-
The plan was to do just some of the carpet maybe this year, but Robert and Wold and I went and looked at that rubber flooring, and we both thought, it needs to be done. Those 4 classrooms need to be fixed. Since we're not doing any rooftop units this year, because we're gonna kind of save the money and put them all towards next year for the bigger rooftops, it would be a good year to do the flooring in the early childhood center and do it all at once instead of just one room, or 2 rooms. Do all 4 of the classrooms, and then the carpet outside of the hallway, we're gonna not do carpet, because the carpet in the hallway doesn't last, there's just too much traffic. So they're gonna look for some different types of flooring alternatives. So the plan at this point, Robert's from Wold is putting some things together, some ideas, and I'll bring that back to the facilities as well. So the plan is to use LTFM dollars to do the early childhood center flooring, those 4 classrooms and then the entranceway. And use the dollars this year, and then since we have some money this year to do that kind of a project. So I'll bring that to you too. So the plan is to do the flooring in all 4 of those early childhood classrooms and the hallway outside of it, not by the office area. That area all looks good still, just the hallway by the classrooms. So a little bit more info on that will come to.
Okay, perfect. Anything else from facilities? Okay. Personnel, we did not meet. We will be setting a meeting date before we leave today. And if we remind, we are still working on Mr. Malmberg's evaluation for the year, so don't forget to turn in your evaluation by the 22nd.
22nd,
That would be.
unless you're the
beautiful.
teacher's pet, and it's the 15th.
Did you?
Hey, I like a teacher's pet.
Did you email or text?
Email.
Sorry, Pat.
Can't do Slack.
If
Yeah, I just
everybody
got a
except
text.
Bridget, who
Yep.
got it by text because I didn't have her school email at that time.
Okay, that's why I was like waiting for an email, and I was like, where is it?
That's,
Okay.
that would be why. So I did send a link to your text, but I can email it to you also. On other,
I'll get the text, that's fine. I told Jake, I kind of feel, because I'm new, like, it's not really fair for me to say much as a board member, because I literally just.
Well, you could as a parent.
and that's why I told her, I
You
said
might
it's a good,
Yeah, you might, my recommendation would be if there's an area you can just put NA, or if there's some areas that you feel comfortable, I think that's fair.
just put, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, fill it out to the best of your ability would be awesome. We would appreciate all the input, so Brian and I can meet and gather all the info. With all names taken off, I was asked that.
Yeah, are these anonymous?
Yes, they are. Then curriculum, that's all from personnel, unless we have something.
I got it for you.
Curriculum, we're gonna start with Director of Teaching and Learning. Mr.
How short this
Fernandez. He's passing out books even. We like to harass Brian about.
See what
the fact
happens,
that
we didn't
he-
meet, so I don't have a report, so it's all.
You missed the look Brian just gave you.
I did, I saw it, it was good.
It's a very colorful book.
We have come so far, that's how it happened.
How
This
do we
is
recoup,
amazing.
how do we recoup the costs on these?
We're lowering the cost is what we're doing, so. So just a few things for the report. It is testing season, spring testing update, MCA tests started last week. So just a reminder to everybody, I put a grid there on it, which students, which grade levels are taking which tests, so if anybody asks. So we've got the math, the reading, and the science tests for the MCAs. For the most part, you see that kids have math and reading until we get to senior high. Then we have a reading test in 10th grade, we have a math test in 11th grade. And then science is based off of when you finish biology. So, summer school update. Mailing went out today in terms of registration for summer school. So for the next week and a half, we'll get registrations coming in. They register through a Google form, and then at that point, they'll get they'll get an email with registration for summer camps. We're running really the same type of schedule for summer school, but for 2 weeks or 8 days. So 4 days and 4 days.
How much are the camps this year?
The camps, we talked about going to about $15. So
Good idea.
we're just confirming a little bit with that. But for the most part, we had some extra dollars left, so we're able to cover most everything and included transportation. So that's what's gotten the kid. We went to 150 last year, about 154 the year before. So our hope is to get similar.
So if a kid just does the camp but not the summer school, do they still get the transportation home or no? Do we have to be in full of
No,
something?
they don't. No, only if they're doing.
Summer school's only for transportation for summer school students.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if other kids can sign up for the camps.
Right.
And if a student just does summer school, they can come transportation in the morning, they would have to be picked up at lunch, so.
Or,
So
Did we have a cost to the camps last year?
it was $10.
$10.
The third one on there, the American Indian Education Aid Grant was approved. We applied in November, so we're left with a couple months left. So we're working on the logistics around that to see what we can use with it, what we can in the time for this year, and then whether or not it rolls over for next year.
Is that something, or you're looking to the logistics of like, what are we
Yeah.
gonna do with these dollars?
Yeah, so
Because I got some great ideas.
we put a plan together in terms of, because this is the first year we're eligible in a long time. And so we put a plan together, submitted that plan, so we've got some big bucket areas. Now it's a matter, the time frame is what's throwing us, so that's the logistics you guys figure out.
So who's, where do you find that list that you just mentioned?
Oh, you can get that from me.
Brian, you're the best friend.
And we have
Gotta
we
have
have
a
a
recommended studies.
We have a parent advisory.
parent
committee
advisory
as well.
committee that we had to put together to kind of, will help decide what we do with that, with those dollars.
High school registration, so that is what I handed out to you, so this is a copy of this year's high school registration guide. The registration, we've started over the last week, so registration is being collected right now, as Sue and Stacy are going through each grade level. And then we've updated the guide, just the thing in terms of, as we're going through this, we are updating career pathways information as we go each year, and so we continue to build that programming. Some of the big, full color pages that are in here, this is information from rural Minnesota staff. And so this is, career information in particular in our area. And so to help families look at, I might be interested in this area, this is the average wage, this is what kind of training is involved, anything that we can help kids with that plan. And then on the back side of my report, there is professional development planning, just so people are, as we're moving forward towards the end of the school year, we have Summer Institute, which is a Sourcewell workshop, where national speakers and stuff come in. We've always had a good group of teachers that attend that. We will push that this year for our new teachers and our teachers who have not attended as much as possible. Because of letters training, we will pay for the cost of the workshop, but we won't pay the hourly curriculum or workshop rate because we're putting quite a bit towards letters. And then potential replacement days, you guys are gonna talk about that at the end of your agenda. So just, we're working on getting that information because we're gonna have to turn around really quickly to make that happen.
I think we should table it.
Please don't table it. Whatever you do, please don't do that.
I'd like to make a motion.
Then new teacher workshop and workshop week. We're already planning those pieces and scheduling people for that to come in because we need to be doing that now in order to get the people in the places at the time we need them. And then the READ Act, just a couple of things, again, kind of the three main areas. FastBridge, that is our new assessment system, so that's replacing STAR. We are completely onboarded and ready. And so they are connected to our system, so we will have training ready to go, hopefully.
Can you explain why we had to switch? Star?
Yeah.
So Star's not that old to us.
No, it's a STAR, you probably have 5-6 years that you do STAR. STAR is a digital assessment or benchmarking tool. FastBridge is similar in nature, but through the READ Act, through determination by the Minnesota Department of Education, FastBridge does more of the dyslexia screening. And so in particular, as we look at kids as they're going through, we want to make sure that we're not missing anybody that may have signs or characteristics of dyslexia. And so we have a testing schedule that we will use with FastBridge that starts from kindergarten, and then if you're not on grade level by 3rd grade, we will continue that all the way through senior year. So it's quite a big change for us. Not the system itself, the computerized test is really not going to be that different than STAR. Tests, it won't be that hard to administer. The additional, it's called a CBM, that will take us some time in terms of, it's a one-on-one oral fluency that we do with each student. And so, again, if you are below grade level, beginning in 4th grade, we will be doing that one-on-one oral fluency until you're on grade level. And that is brand new to us. That will take a large.
And when our teacher is supposed to have time to do that.
That is what we are figuring out. Whether it is a group of teachers or it's an army of people to
That's what I was
come in.
gonna ask, is that gonna be like we need 100 volunteers
Yes.
to come in and,
It might involve some of that. We are testing some of that actually with our literacy assessments at the elementary this spring, where we have a bank of retired teachers coming in.
oh, nice.
So we're trying out just kind of what that could look like in
That would
order
be
to
beautiful.
kind of go through those assessments in a timely manner, and what we can get done. So we're trying it out this spring to see how it goes. The second one on the letters, volume 2. So our teachers went through letters in volume 1 this year. Volume 2 is set to go. We just need to confirm dates with Lexia, the training provider, and with the teachers union, and I think we've figured out a pretty tentative schedule. We just need to make sure that that works with Lexia. And we'll have that set. Teachers will have the opportunity to get a lot of it done over the summer, and they'll be paid for that time. And then we'll use PD days again next year. So it'll take a big chunk. So we will have completed both years ahead of schedule.
Awesome, good job.
And then the last one is a curriculum one, just so that people are up to date. There was only a few curriculums that were approved through the process. And so there was a number of them, a large list that were up for reconsideration. A couple of those have now gone through the process, and a couple were approved and a couple were not approved. And so there's still a number of them that we're waiting on to see where that list goes. So just to give you an update that as we progress through.
All right, anybody have questions for Ryan? Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, next, looks like policy, but since they did not meet, it looks like we'll be scheduling a meeting.
So after the meeting, if those of you that are on those two committees, we can find some dates.
Then we have, moving on to other, a makeup plan for the missed snow days in March with an adjustment to the school calendar, which has been enclosed.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'll fill you in a little bit. I know I've sent info to you guys in your emails, but with, as all the things that Ryan has just shared with the letters, training, and all the time that is taking up with our staff, and with having to break in FastBridge with that new system as well, we really can use the time well this year for both days to be staff development days. In most situations, I would say in the past, we've made up at least one of those days. But with all the things that we have coming at us from MDE this year, it really does make sense to use both days for staff. And then what my recommendation would be to the last school day, which was the 30th, would now go, it was supposed to be an early dismissal day. I would recommend that we make that a full day. Do not get out early. That way we gain a couple hours back of the student contact time. And then I would move to make Friday, May 31st and June 3rd staff development days, which are makeup contract days. Staff are being paid for those 2 days, so we could bring them in on those 2 days. And Ryan has a list of several different things that we can cover. One of them being standards, power standards. We have not had much time. About 5 years ago, our staff got together and worked on the standards that they would assess on the report cards. Some of that maybe has changed now since they've taught for 3 or 4 years. They might say, you know what, I'd rather have this power standard be addressed or this one. So we haven't had time to get staffs together to do that. So that would be another thing that we've been trying to find time to do. So my recommendation would be, attached to school calendar, would be to revise it, making the May 30th a full day for students. And then the 31st and then June 3rd would be staff days where they would come back.
Somebody like to make a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on the calendar?
Just for my own education, are snow days a thing of the past? Like where, do we always have to make up a snow day moving forward? Is that?
We do have 3 days in our school calendar next year that could be possible snow makeup days. We did not have April 18th as a snow makeup day on the calendar this year. So it was we didn't really have a date. We have always made up at least one day. So it's always up to the board, but the problem with it is at what point do you, how many days, like a couple of years ago, we missed 6, 7 days.
Yeah,
So it kind of always goes by how many days you have, and it's really up to us as a board.
okay, does it affect our budget if these?
It does not. You have to have
It's just a
so many
matter of
hours.
education is
Yeah,
what it
you have to
is.
have so many hours for elementary, so many hours for high school, and we're above that hour requirement, even with, we missed 1 or 2 days.
But after 1 or 2 days, then
Somewhere,
close.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's close. We're fine with 2 or 3 days. Especially in the elementary, because the elementary has less required hours than high school. But, so, yeah, the bottom line is usually is if you miss too many days, you kind of like to make that student contact time up, because, it's important time,
Right, so what we're discussing is more or less just keeping the kids in the classroom so they can finish their curriculum out for the year. It's not necessarily dollars or anything
No,
like that.
it
It's
doesn't
just a
affect that at
benefit
this
to the
point,
kids
right,
is what it is.
Right.
and the students will only be here an additional 2
2
hours
hours.
from what they would have been.
Right, I know, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
educate
right.
myself on it.
But those 2 hours would count towards the hours of how much time hours the kids have to be in, based off of state law.
Okay.
Yeah. And a while back, remember, we talked about e-learning. The board and myself have discussed e-learning. We're not big fans of e-learning. E-learning would come into play for us, I believe, as a district, as if, depending on how many days you miss, if you start missing several days, or you don't have those days in the calendar that you maybe already used and you miss another day, a couple days, then the plan would be, we missed 4 days in December. We might want to start considering some e-learning days so we don't have to go far into June, for example.
Sure.
So as long as we have days in the calendar that we can make up, let's say you miss a day in November, right? Because of snow day. Well, we have a day in December, for example, or January that can become a student contact day. That would be the first thing we would do.
Okay,
If you miss 3 days in December,
yeah, now we're getting.
now we're getting to where we only got 3 days in the calendar to make up. The next one, we may want to say, we might want to start having e-learning days.
Okay,
But, so just kind of give you a FYI.
sure.
I
Thank you.
appreciate the fact that we're adjusting the end of the school calendar, not say the day after, giving all the staff 3 days' notice, which is what other schools did, which was
But
very frustrating.
But
for
it's
some
like, right,
staff.
but if you had it on the calendar as a possible day, like, let's say next year, we have I think it's April 18th as a possible snow makeup day. If you have a snow makeup day on April 16th and you've missed 3 days already, you're gonna make up April 18th, even if it's a day away, because you've had it on the calendar for the whole year as a possible makeup day. No, if you didn't, then it's kind of hard to do that, but, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I will update the calendar on the school website, plus I will send out a GMC message this week to families.
Superintendent report.
A couple things. Just wanted to update. I know many of you are aware of the Ninja fundraiser of the
Yes.
elementary playground. I know Mr. Smith has become a celebrity.
Yeah.
You're not aware, you have put under a rock.
Yes.
But I'd like to say kudos to all the staff and all their involvement in doing things, and Mr. Smith.
Does anybody know a total today? The last time I
The
looked, it
last
was
time I
just
looked,
under
it was
40.
over 41,000.
It's over 40.
Oh my
41,000.
gosh.
Yeah, and that's for equipment for all-inclusive playground equipment for kids and handicapped, and maybe some paths that they can get to and from.
It's
The
41.
equipment is expensive, obviously, playground equipment is out of this world cost, so I think they're looking to adding pieces. It's not replacing what we have, it's possibly adding to it.
It's kind of like the musical.
Right, yep.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
So, there, just kudos to all those people who have helped and donated, and very neat project.
Can I ask a question? I don't mean to. I was on the facilities committee for many years, and we never once discussed playground.
Yep.
Is it something that we have not looked at? Is it something that, I mean, I know you say it's astronomical on the price of it, but that stuff that's out there right now, it's like 1970s.
No,
I
it's
mean-
not, because I was here in the 80s and it's all brand new.
It's really.
I guarantee you, those are not the slides we
They're
split
still-
down. I
and-
guarantee
But it
it.
seems they like, it's outdated. Like,
Happened in the early 2000s.
Well, they're still pretty good shape,
I'm not
Quality
just,
is probably better with what's out there than what you can buy now, just like your
there's a lot of truth to
Tonka
that.
truck chain.
I'm just asking the question if we've ever looked into it. is all.
Well, I've never had anybody tell me that, like Todd or Josh or
That-
that's Kim
that's
and
the
me said, these pieces are wearing down.
Or they're
There's a
broken,
piece-
they're cracked,
yeah.
nothing like, we
If
haven't
there's
had any.
something, we replace a piece that maybe is broken, but, you know, as far as I know, no, I have not, but I've never had anybody say, you know, this equipment's really bad. So as far as I know, you know, I said to my principals and Todd, give me items that we need to look at, and it's never come up from them, so.
I've had that question asked to me from community at this point, as we're running this fundraiser, why isn't school doing it? Because it's not needing to be fully, otherwise
This is bad.
this is an ad.
I just know we've never looked into
Yeah,
it, and I know
no,
it's never been
I
broached,
agree.
so I just want to
Never
know.
been brought up as I,
Yeah.
I'm the facility.
Anything else on that?
No, sorry.
CTC Center has been extremely busy. Just want to give you an update on the things that have just happened in this month alone. We had High School Musical for several days. We had Reggie Dobbs, a guest speaker. We had the Expedition concert Friday night, which was really good. We had section choir contest we hosted. We will have the 3rd and 4th grade programs, and we have Tom Petty tribute concert coming up. So the facility is being used quite regularly and a lot. So I don't know how we survived without it, to be honest with you. So just wanted to give you an update on those things.
Just a note,
Prom is
Sarah's
scheduled
got a
for,
just a note on that 3rd and 4th grade. There's no, an email was sent out to all the parents to get tickets.
Yep.
There's no link to get the ticket.
there's no what?
There's no link to get the ticket.
I will check on it. I know they get up to 6 tickets, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
we got a
know.
notice, so I didn't know.
Okay, I'll check. Prom is April 27th, so that's coming up. Arbor Day celebration is on Friday, the 26th of April. That's where we have our community plant sale. So that's kind of a really cool event. People line up and they have tomatoes and all kinds of different plants, hanging baskets.
And I seen somebody won the shirt contest.
Somebody won the shirt contest, yeah, so that's
Just
coming
happened
up.
to be what I wore today.
It's a well-attended event from the
It's
community.
2019,
Oh,
so it's old. It's
That's
not
a-
this one.
it's not that one. Well, I like that.
We did hold the Ed Foundation dinner this last weekend. We raised probably a little over $17,000 for scholarships. And I want a special thanks to Tom Kavanaugh and Jenny Wise and all the Pro Start kids for all their help and all the sponsors of that event. You probably have seen maybe posted to the Husky Burger. We've started that on Wednesdays. It's gone over very well. So like I said, one of those items that we've improved the quality of, which costs us a little bit more. We're spending down that account. I think since we started that, we have about 50 kids more eating on that Wednesday. So maybe some kids that weren't eating that day are now eating because of the Husky Burger. I was lucky enough to grill one day and I smelled
Saw
I smelled greasy all day long, but it was fun. It was a good time. Educators of Excellence Banquet is coming up on May 1st. That's where we recognize some staff, and those staff members that are being recognized on May will be in the elementary, Alyssa Anderson, early childhood, special ed, Alexis Headley, and EA. In the middle school, it's Sarah Kimmen, ELA, and then Barb Snow is an assistant. And then in the high school, it's Ryan Salisbury, and the assistant is Jackie Dickinson. So I'd like to congratulate all those. And then we also have the Student of Excellence banquet this week as well. So we have some students that will be recognized there. And those are put on through Sourcewell. So some great events. Athletic complex, I know Matt is planning a kind of a grand opening event of the baseball softball field. That'll be on Saturday, May 18th, so watch for details on that. I know he's gonna have some food trucks, and we might have a ribbon cutting ceremony again, so I might get some info out to those of you that wanna come to that. And kind of a neat, they'll have an afternoon baseball game and then an evening softball game, so Matt's doing some planning on that. And the last thing I have is I'd like to congratulate, we do have a couple state speech qualifiers. It doesn't like that long ago that we started speech, and I thought our numbers are getting a little bigger every year, which is kind of cool to see. We have Lily Wood and Maria Stumbo Ruiz, both qualified for state, and they go this week, so congratulations to them. So not very long ago, we didn't even have speech, so it's kind of cool to see what kids get to do with their opportunities too, other than just athletics. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Any questions for Mr. Malberg? All right, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions about adjournment? All those in favor?
Aye.
I didn't care if you had comments or concerns about it, I was